Last time on FishLocked Hardcore, I leveled, I got new gear, I did the Stranglethorn Vale fishing tournament, and I met somebody new doing the same FishLocked challenge.
I challenge you to a personal challenge between us buds. The sought-after One Ring. Till tomorrow night. See if one of us can fish it, or just whoever gets it first.
Oh wait, this guy's challenging me to who can get the One Ring first?
So I had a new rival with Fishmade here, and some of my comments would even say I had a new WoW girlfriend. But I also had another goal in mind now. The One Ring. You know, like from Lord of the Rings. It's super cool. I gotta get it. Plus, my current ring is still +6 nature resistance, which, anything is better than that. So I still need this One Ring. Now, this One Ring, it can drop in Orgrimmar and pretty much any of the major cities in the game. It can also apparently drop in the Barrens and Westfall, according to Wowhead. So there's all these places to choose from, but we decided just to go right back home to Orgrimmar. Now I sat here and I fished in Orgrimmar all night, and I got right back on super early in the morning too to keep fishing as well. And between this time and the little bit that we fished in Orgrimmar before, we had over 1,000 casts in this Orgrimmar pond now, with really nothing to show for it. The only green drop I've gotten was still the sword that I got in episode 1. So I guess I got really freaking lucky by getting that sword in episode 1. Also during this, I hit 300 fishing skill, so now I was finally able to equip that Arcanite fishing rod, and this is the best fishing rod in the game. I decided to go to Thunderbluff for a little bit of a change of scenery, but I didn't really like it there as much. Like, I do really like Thunderbluff, but I don't know, something about Orgrimmar right now, I feel like I need to find the ring there. So after a few hundred casts in Thunderbluff, I just went back to Orgrimmar. And when I was back there, Fishmade, my rival, was there fishing, also going after the ring. I needed to make sure I got this before then. But then I also started to notice something else. There was, more people in general that seemed like they were naked and doing the same challenge. Were we starting to inspire a generation of new young fishermen out there? Now, a lot of them were still, lower level, not like me and Fishmade here, but, it's still cool to see other people trying this out. And, I stayed fishing out here in Orgrimmar for so long that I was kind of starting to lose my mind, and I needed to find more ways to make this innovative and fun. So I came up with a couple ideas. First one we came up with on stream was pretty much split screen WoW fishing. Now, since my FishLocked Hardcore and my FishLocked Retail are on different accounts, I can actually log into them at the same time. And well, since I have 2 things to fish that are really rare in both versions of the game, I can just fish for them at the same time. So I did that for a while. Obviously in Classic Hardcore, we stayed going for the One Ring. And then in Retail, I was in my garrison fishing for minnows to spawn in murlocs to hopefully get the riding turtle, because this is like the rarest thing in Retail that I still don't have, and I'm kind of losing my mind on it. And it was kind of dopamine. There was fishing bobbers hitting all over the place. I was nonstop clicking across both screens, recasting my line. It was a good time, and we got absolutely nothing on either game. Okay, that is actually a lie. I did on Retail get a pimp hat. So, Rodfather's a pimp. I also found out that the Northrend Daily Quest bag can also drop a pimp cane to go along with this pimp hat. I'm going to eventually need that, but we're not talking about Retail today. We're here on Classic. Today I did fish for a little bit in Orgrimmar, but I really wanted to keep my sanity intact, so I went on a trip to Stranglethorn Vale for some good old regular fishing, alright? Fish and trunks. There's good stuff to catch all over here in Stranglethorn Vale. In the northern coast up here, we can catch ironbound trunks as well as the river. And in the river, we can catch the ironbound trunks, but I can also catch my raw sagefish. And my sagefish are probably my favorite food because they give me health and mana. So, 2-for-1 combo. I can't really drink water in this challenge, so this is my way of getting my mana up. And in the southern half of STV down that coast, you can get the mithril trunks, which is the higher level gear and higher level materials. So, I would kind of just go around all over the place because the tier 3 and tier 4 trunks are both pretty good. So I would just like to collect full inventories all the time and then open them at the end. So that's what we did today. And I'd gotten some new shoulders, new boots, a new cloak, and a new weapon, but it was a mace. and hunters cannot use maces. I don't even understand why hunters can't use maces. Like, why not? It doesn't make sense why we can't. Oh my gosh, another... Dude, the only weapons I get are weapons I cannot use. And the next day on my stream, I was doing this same thing again, and I think the WoW gods heard my rant, because this time, I got a sword. My level 11 sword could finally go away, because now I had a new sword that was level 36, which I was too. It was destiny that I got this sword. And this sword, I wanted to use it right away, so I decided to do a little bit of leveling, so I went to Alterac Mountains to kill this Frostmaw Yeti. I killed some elite dwarves in Hillsbrad, and then I moved into Arathi Highlands and killed some ogres, some humans, some kobolds, and then, well, I eventually left, and turning in quests, I got to level 37, and this new sword, it felt so good doing these quests, and I wanted to get that feeling again of getting something new and then using it and feeling it. So I went back to Stranglethorn Vale again to fish up even more trunks. I fished up for like 2 hours straight, and I had 43 trunks to open, filling my entire inventory, and I was ready to get some new loot. 1 silver. Let's go. Good start. We farmed 43 and got it on the second one. Holy shit. Anything's better than nothing. Man, I really wish we got a ranged weapon from a mithril trunk, though. Let's equip that motherfucker, too. Let me see it in my hand. Holy shit. Holy shit. A ranged weapon. Let's see. Hey, we still got 41 trunks to open. Let's keep it going. Boom. All right, last one. Here we go. Wow. Literally nothing. Just silver. I'll be honest, that would have sucked if it wasn't for the ranged weapon. Now we have a freaking ranged weapon. But now we have to have the conversation, guys. Now with this bow, it comes a question that I have been asked on my streams and in the comments over and over and over again. What am I gonna do about ammo? Now let me fully explain here so that hopefully I don't have to answer this question on streams over and over again. It came down to changing the rules, because I know somebody in the comments is gonna say, well, if you had a gun, you can craft your own ammo, and you know, there's some bolts I think you can craft too, or arrows. But to that, yes, engineering does have some ammo that you can craft, but within the rules of our challenge, you can never craft that because you still need ores and stuff to level up engineering to get there, and ores to make that stuff too, so it just wouldn't work. So it pretty much came down to, are we going to open the rules to allow buying ammo? And while I was a little bit skeptical at first, but when I asked FishMade, my rival last episode, they said that they do buy ammo and that it's their exception. You know, I think FishMade here is a good authority. They've been doing this challenge a lot longer than me. They told me that they've been doing this challenge since before there was official hardcore servers. So I think that they're a good person to follow the rules from. And you know what? I think I'm going to open up that rule a little bit even more. So if you're playing and you're playing a different class or something, I'd say any class items you need to buy are okay. So, you know, like rogue, poisons, vanishes, blinds, you know. If you're a shaman, you can buy your totems and stuff like that. If you're a mage, of course, you can conjure your own food and water and use that. I'm pretty sure mages have to buy stuff to make portals too. So, you know, you can buy, yeah, any stuff that's like a class ability, I think that's okay to buy. But, you know, hey, if you want to restrict yourself and do the rules however you want, go for it. Because at the end of the day, my thing has always been about just having fun first and, you know, do your rules, whatever's the most fun for you, an enjoyable experience for you. Because that's how I'm doing it. And after all this, well, I spent the night back to fishing for the One Ring in Orgrimmar. And, well, we got nothing still. The next day, I was fishing around in the Barrens by Ratchet on the coast because I was trying to get some low-level materials to eventually level my crafting professions more, so that way I could get like bigger bags, some more armor kits, stuff like that. But then I heard about something that was going down in the Barrens. There was apparently going to be an all-out race war, Alliance versus Horde, about to go down here on the server. So, you know, I went to go check things out, and yeah, the Crossroads was full of so many people, and then Northwatch was full of so many Alliance players. There was streamers, there was tons of people, and they were PvP flagged, and they just started going at it and battling, and I just sat there and fished. and it was great. I love fishing, aura farming. The leader of my guild, Jokered, he died. There was a bunch of other people that died too. There was dead bodies everywhere, and I walked around a little bit after the battle, and well, that was rough. All these dead bodies. I really needed to think about something here, especially with the leader of my guild dead. And while I was thinking about this, I spent a while fishing in Stranglethorn Vale again. I caught 42 trunks while doing this, 21 of each type, and for the most part, I really didn't get shit out of them. But I did get my very first helmet, but I couldn't wear it yet. And as I was fishing, I was thinking a lot, and I made my decision on what I wanted to do next. Seeing all the dead bodies, the talks about the race war, I don't want war, I just want to fish. And to me, fishing brings people together, like it did in Orgrimmar, like it did with Fishmaid and me having our little rivalry now. Fishing brings peace, and peace is greater than war. The guilds being all these different races, even at war within each other, that's not what I want. Okay, because me personally, I'm only racist to the Alliance players. So I left the guild. Our leader was dead anyway, so who knew the future of the guild? But I decided I was gonna make my own guild, Fish Found. Now this guild is open to the public. Any of you watching can join. All you gotta do is make a character on the Skull Rock North American server, be on Horde, you can be any race, any class, but you gotta follow the Fishbound rules, or you can make your own rules a little bit, but obviously you're only using gear that you fish up, and yeah, for the most part you're just following the rules that I do in my video. If you're doing your own special rules on top of that too, maybe put that in a guild note or something, but yeah, you can whisper anybody for the most part to get you an invite, so come join us, have some fun. And I got the guild charter, and I just needed people to sign it. I ran over to the fishing spot in Orgrimmar, where there was people ready, and I was gonna ask Fishmaid first. And before I could even ask, they had already left their guild, and was the first person to sign. And after that, many other viewers came to sign the guild charter, and shortly after, we had a guild. And I even spent my own hard-earned money to get us a nice-looking guild tabard. Isn't this thing beautiful? This is straight swag, okay? And yes, I'm making an exception to buy a guild tabard even though I didn't fish it, okay? Because look at this thing. It's a fishing item. Plus 10 fishing swag points. It's listed on the stats. You just don't see it. This day was also Sunday, so I headed back over to Stranglethorn Vale once again for the fishing derby. Because, well, I still wanted to get first place at least once, and I also wanted the bonus fish for the bonus items. And right before the derby started, I did catch a couple mithril trunks, and inside, I got an absolutely insane new helmet with plus 11 agility and plus 11 stamina. I can't use it until level 40, but I think this might be my best helmet for Fish Found. We'll see. I did the fishing derby, and there was some competition out there, and with the amount of people joining our guild, in the next couple weeks, I'm pretty sure this derby is going to have a lot of competition. And well, I didn't get first place, but it's okay, because we weren't even after the main prizes. We got the main prizes last week. But I did get the Kiefer's Angelfish. And turning in this Kiefer's Angelfish to the FishBot 5000, I got the Lucky Fishing Hat. Plus 5 fishing skill and plus 15 stamina, which is a really nice little health boost. But most importantly, my swag has gone up to insane heights with this hat, with the banger guild tabard. I was the best looking character on the entire server by far. Now, I did fish for the old 2 hours, and I didn't have any luck on the other 2 rare fish for the boots or for the fishing line, but it's okay. It gives us something to come back for next week, okay? And after this, I went to Arathi for a little bit to do some questing, and I did find out that over in Faldeer's Cove here, it was a nice little fishing spot for tier 3 stuff, and they would all respawn in this nice little area that wasn't really a far run at all, so this was a nice spot. But I needed to get back on my 1 ring quest, so I spent the night once again in Orgrimmar, and I did the phone thing again and fell asleep again. But the next morning, I was still after this 1 ring, but I was really tired of Orgrimmar. So I led the first little guild event by taking a small team of the guildies that I felt were little high enough level enough down to the Wailing Caverns, because the Wowhead comments, they said that it could drop here in the Wailing Caverns, so I was going to take their word for it. And these guildies, they were a little bit lower level, but Larry, he's a great bodyguard. We got everybody down there safe, and this place was much nicer than Orgrimmar. And I gotta say, this is actually probably my favorite fishing spot in the entire game. Vibes completely unmatched by anywhere. I challenge you to tell me a better spot than this. Like maybe Stranglethorn Vale at sunset, but no, I still think Wailing Caverns is more vibes. It was also nice to occasionally see people like going by because they were doing the dungeon and they would come and mess with us a little bit. You know, this is what MMOs is all about. All right, this is peak MMO gameplay. Eventually, the other guildies I brought down here, they left, but I stayed until I did over 1,000 casts, but I didn't get a single green at all, so I gave up after a little bit and went back to good old Orgrimmar, where I was now over 5,000 casts deep. I was spending so much time on trying to get this ring, actually. I was falling behind and leveling up. It had been days. It felt like actually almost a week since I had leveled up. I needed to get some questing done, alright? So I started off in Duskwallow Marsh. I killed some spiders. I killed some murlocs. Eventually, I moved into Stranglethorn Vale to do some quests. I killed tigers, raptors, and even the elite panther, Bagthera. You know, I thought he was going to be a little scary, but he wasn't too bad. And I went back up to Arathi this time to do those really scary, annoying underwater quests. And usually, I really hate these, and I dread doing them. But this time, on FishLocked specifically, I discovered some new tech, because this fish trinket just makes it completely OP. Usually I hate this because you have to go down so deep in the water to fight mobs, go through the ship, and your breath is very hard, and unless you're an undead or a warlock with water breathing, your breath is a hard thing to manage. But with this trinket, you just turn into a fish and you have infinite breath, and you can even use this trinket while you're already in combat, so your breath is like never a problem anymore. So this made this go by like a breeze, and we finished the quest like it was nothing. But then, I got into a little bit of a tough spot, because my next best place for quests was the Badlands. But I needed to get to the Badlands for the first time. And Badlands, it has two main entrances, one from the west in Searing Gorge, where you'd have to go through Burning Steps and Blackrock Mountain, and that was way too risky at this level. The other option was Loch Modan from the north, but, well, getting through Loch Modan was a bit of a problem because you'd have to go through these tunnels, and when the guards see you, they attack you and you get PvP flagged. Normally, I wouldn't be too scared of getting PvP flagged, but right now, with this RP event on this server, there is tons of dwarves running around Loch Modan, and if they see a troll PvP flagged, you know, if 10 of them jump on me, I won't stand a chance. So I needed to find a way, and me and my stream, we did some research until we found something. We found a video of how to get there, and it would be a lot like our Nat Pagle adventure from last time, but this one was going to be even crazier. So we started at the Swamp of Sorrows, and I maneuvered up this entire mountain to get into Redridge. And I went across the lake in Redridge, and instead of going into Burning Steps, we climbed up the side of the mountain, and well, we got up to a completely unfinished part of the map that the devs probably never intended players to be at and up here. Probably nobody thought that they would do this, but we did, and we moved up north in this completely mystery zone of the map, and yeah, this was another like weird, we're not supposed to be here, but nothing's stopping us from being here type of thing. But eventually, moving up north, I got into the mountains of the Badlands, and we just had to jump our way down, and I was officially in the zone. Once here, I got the flight path so I can always come back, and I got right to all the quests. I killed rock elementals, coyotes, vultures, trogs, and when I finished up all the quests, I was one little bit away from leveling up, so I turned in a quest all the way back at Arathi, and I dinged level 40. This is a great milestone on the way to 60, and we got new spells, and we can also wear male gear now, so we can wear so much of the stuff we've been storing up from those trunks. And I already know what somebody's gonna ask. Level 40, are you gonna get your mount yet? And well, I wanna say, I don't think I'm going to be getting a mount, at least for now. Because one, a mount costs a lot of gold, and I'm very limited on my gold. And well, you don't actually fish up a mount, so I would have to make another exception in the rules for a mount. And well, there's just other things I really want to get before a mount. I want to get all the bank slots unlocked. I want to maybe even get dual spec so I can try out survival talents, because, you know, that could be fun. We'll see. When we get a higher level, we got to try out some other stuff. So maybe I'll get a mount one day, but it's in the back of my mind right now. And being level 40 now, I wanted to go back to Stranglethorn Vale to finish up one last thing. Cause yeah, I was a hunter, and maybe it's the easiest class, probably, alright? But I wanted to prove myself a little bit by beating the big game hunter questline solo at level 40. We had 2 parts left, and the first was Tethys, the level 42 elite raptor. Larry tanked him pretty well, and I kited him a little bit, but overall, he wasn't too much trouble for me, and we took his talent as proof. Next, though, would be the king of the jungle, Bangalash, a level 43 elite tiger who spawns in 2 panthers when he reaches 50% health, and on my first pull of him, well, we had quite the epic battle.
Alright, we gotta remember, when he gets close to 50, we gotta stun, and then hopefully get him under 50 during the stun. Larry needs some health. We gotta get ready to stun soon, though. We're gonna get Larry up big health right now. Get ready to stun, though. When he's at 55. Alright, Larry, stun now. There we go, we got it, we got it. Alright, now, Larry, you just gotta live. Oh, this is not looking good, though. This is not looking good on health. Come on, Larry. Come on, Larry. Come on, Larry, just 1,000 more health. You got this. Oh, no, we're out of mana. Come on. This is so scuffed. No, fuck. Oh, we were 300 health away. Damn it, dude. That was so close, too. If I had mana, if Larry lived a little bit longer and I had mana, I could have Bestial Wrathed him, got that last little bit. That was so close. I mean, I thought I played that pretty well, though, at the end, right? Honestly, I already know what made the difference. Fuck, and I'm so mad of something I didn't do. If we Serpent Stinged, we would have won. If we had just Serpent Stinged during... I need to remember to Serpent Sting and we win.
And there was so much that I even did wrong in this fight. Like, there was no trap that I placed, there was no Scorpion Sting, and I was still so close. So, I knew I could get him next time for sure. And yeah, if you couldn't figure this out, it's pretty safe because, well, these mobs can't go in the water. So, if you get in trouble, just jump in the water and you'll be fine. But still, you know, killing him, you know, you gotta think it out a little bit. But after this first pull, I started to have trouble for... I'm not gonna lie, multiple hours, because I would either have bad pulls of Bangalash where I would pull a bunch of other enemies along with him, and it wasn't just a 1v1, so I'd have to reset, or I'd get Bangalash cleared up, kill all the other mobs around him so I'd have a nice path, and then another player would come in and fight Bangalash when I want to do this solo. So I spent a lot of time during this going on small little fishing trips while I was waiting for respawns to happen so that I could go through. But eventually, I did get my real battle with Bangalash.
Okay, we solo pulled at least. There's a tiger right there. We gotta... Please don't pull that tiger. Please don't pull that tiger. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think the coast is clear now. Okay, okay. At 55%, we hit the stun. All right, right now. We got him. We got him. We got it. We got it. Smooth sailing now. We gotta make sure Larry stays alive, though. Mana pot. Yeah, what if I steal a little aggro? What if I steal a little aggro? Larry, 1k health, Larry. 1k health, Larry. Larry, you got maybe one more healing if you can survive until I get the mana? This is easy, baby. This is an easy W right here. Boom. 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 Head of Bangalash. Oh, and the subs, the gifted subs go crazy. Oh my gosh, we didn't have the agility helmet on. Oh my god, we were wearing the fucking fishing hat. I'm such an idiot. Hey, you know what? Who cares? Nobody's gonna look at the fact that we forgot to change our helmet. Honestly, it's more aura that we killed him with the fishing hat on. King of the jungle, baby. King of the jungle.
Killing the King of the Jungle, I felt accomplished with what we did in this episode. Even if we didn't get the 1 ring this week, it at least gives us something that we can keep chasing after. And well, I don't know what we're going to get up to next week, but you can come join us on Skull Rock, and you can just be a part of my streams if you want to join in on all this. And you know, we're just going to be having a good time. But that's it for this week, guys. Keep fishing, friends, and I'll see y'all next time.
Alright, really quickly before the video ends, I know some of you guys are probably curious about my stats here on Rodfather, so you know what? I'm going to show you guys really fast, okay? So I use Fishing Buddy, this add-on here, to track my casts in every zone. I went ahead and I added up all of these totals for y'all, so you know, you don't have to go through and count. I already added it up, and I'm at 13,040 casts. And for, well, the slash played, we're looking at, boom, 10 days and 11 hours. That's 251 hours played on Rodfather so far. So if anybody wants to say I'm not grinding and putting in the work, your boy's grinding. Okay, see you guys next time.